the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Eko ewie siya na bujaye enana atu all various political parties. Now the campaigning process is still ongoing. All major political parties or more campaign soliciting for votes from ordinary Ghanaians and voters towards the December 7th general elections. Now, I bring also to see now the order of the day about the polls and a service by various organizations and media houses. Now, what do I need to remove about the National Democratic Congress? Or more, some organizations and media houses are more trusted or more with respect to polls and service on elections. It will be the Global Info Analytics headed by Musa Dankwa. What do I need to remove the media space in Swa? Media general and a multimedia. Also, no, or more trusted or more post power. And the NDC led by its flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, is in the Ashanti region. Ya almost ye say. The stronghold of the NPP, and it is almost to me bomb one day. A Ghana majority of the votes they are sealed and done for the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Not knowing say, and you may be a coso, a almost stronghold, which is the Volta Reg. Now, almost taxi these media houses, so almost quite current survey and from the Volta Reg. Multimedia led by John News abo the real Volta Reg na quite survey. Now, results on a report a free survey. In fact, the soon kabi and Abura NDC headquarters. Report on this is saying, the Nsem-Pii free Volta Reg aba and the body of the NDC more and nay or more switch. There was Ashanti no musu se or more Ghana more votes. No more the
region is the vote bank of the NDC. It has 18 constituencies, and this year we are looking at more than 1 million registered voters who will be voting in this year's election in the Volta region. Now, if you take a look at the 7 regions that has more than 1 million registered voters, Volta region is one of them. It crossed the line this year in terms of the registration. Now, out of the 15 or the 18 constituencies in the Volta region, the NDC won all of them. But there were 15 constituencies that they actually dropped votes in terms of their vote share against the NPP, and that's what we'll be analyzing. But before that, let's look at how the Volta region has been voting since 1996 to the 2020 elections. And just like you see, this is a stronghold of the NDC. Why is it a stronghold? Because it's not just a place that the NDC win. When they win big. Just like you see in 1996, they won by 94.9%.
Where we represent the NDC.
The NDC and blue is the MPP. Almost 95% of the total valid vote cast in the Volta region in 1996. But in 2000, we see there's a significant change or drop in that vote from 95 to somewhere around 87.5. And as you can see, they've always won above 80%. So if NDC is winning the Volta region, their threshold it doesn't go beyond 80%. They will definitely win above 80%. But in the 2020 general election, in terms of the presidential, something interesting happened in the Volta region that we need to tell the stories behind the numbers. What happened? We see the Volta region dropping from as high as 95% of the total valid vote cast to just, or not just, I think somewhere around 80, almost 85 or 84.8. Now see, the Volta region is on, the NDC is on a decline in the Volta region from 91.4% in the 2012 election. That brought John Dramani Mahama to his first presidential, election win in 2012. But what we see is that right after 2012, the Volta region has been declining in terms of, the numbers from 91.4 to 87.7. Now we are talking about 84.8. So definitely, this is a stronghold or a region that the NDC know they will win definitely, but they will be concerned about the drop in the vote. Not just the NDC dropping, but you can see, if you look at it from the blue side, the NPP is on a very, good momentum they used to get just somewhere around 4.4% of the total valid vote cast in the Volta region. Now we are talking about 14.1.
They should be
adding more than 10 percentage points since 1996. This is a stronghold of the NDC. And so if you are on a good run, on a good trajectory, or you are increasing in votes, is something that we need to analyze and tell the story behind the numbers. But why did the NDC drop from somewhere 91.4 to 87.7 to 84.8 in the 2020 election? Let's tell the story. Now, if you look at this chart that talks about the 15 constituencies out of 18. NDC actually won all of them, but they dropped votes in 15. That's more than 80% of the constituencies in the Volta region dropped their vote or their support for the NPP, the NDC. They won all right, but they did not get, if you compare the same relative to 2016.
That's for the 2020 election.
Exactly. Their vote share in the 2020 election relative to that of 2016 was low in 15 of them. There were two constituencies, Afajato South and I think one of the other constituencies that improved their vote for the NDC. But Ketu North, Ketu South, who talk about all the, talk about all of them, they actually dropped their support for the NDC in the 2020 general election. There was one constituency that did not change in terms of how they voted in 2016 versus how they voted in 2020. This, for me, is what I was talking about. So we know of the 15 that dropped their vote for the NDC, or NDC had a decline in the share of vote. Now, we decided to now glean the top 10 from that list of 15 constituencies. Now, that top 10, just look at it. I mean, it starts from Pando. Pando drops by 1.4 percentage points compared to 2016. Agotime, dropped by 2.9. Amlo, 3.4. Adaklu. These are all traditional, green belt zones for the NDCs. 4.1. Ho West, 4.4. North Dai, 5.2. Keta North. Ketu North. This is a big constituency for the NDC. Of course,
yes.
Winning, exactly.
A lot of vote in this particular.
Absolutely. It's just like your Mensha South or Bantama or Bekwai in the Ashanti region for the NDC. They dropped by 5.2 percentage point. Keta itself dropped by 6.8 percentage points. If you compare what the NDC got in 2020 versus 2016, that was very significant. Akachi North, 10.4. Now, the big one for me is Hohoi, where they dropped by 18.9 percentage points. Wow. Now, I will show you the graph that tells the story of both Akachi North and Hohoi, and I'm sure viewers will really understand how the NDC actually dropped. This is Akachi North. Just look at it from 2012 to 2016. NDC used to get 90.1% of the total valid vote cast, as against 8.1%. That was 2012 when John Dramani Mahama came onto the ballot for the first time. Now 2020, just look at how we are seeing this.
Almost 20.
MPP has now moved from 8.1 to 19.7. Very, very significant. And as you can see, the gap was really wide in 2012 and 2016. But just like you're trying to do, very close in the 2020 election. So going into this year's election, this is the outlook for, Akachi North. Akachi North, interesting, but let me show you the last one, Hohoi. And Hohoi, we are trying to look at it from 1996, because this is a traditional, constituency in the Volta region. Very interesting. And just like Akachi North, Hohoi is predominantly NDC. But the story is that as of 1996, they used to give NDC 94.3% of the total valid vote cast, as against 5.1% for the NPP. Now, the story is changing. The reason why we are saying Volta region, some of the constituencies are becoming less green, is because of the drop in some of these numbers. 94.3, now we are talking about 69.4.
That's huge.
Huge drop. Now, just look at, in just 2 election periods, NDC drops from 82.5 to 69.5, losing more than 10 percentage points. In fact, close to 20 percentage points. That is really significant. Not just the NDC on a decline, but see what is happening at the blue side. You can see MP,
exactly,
almost. It's there already, 30% in the previous election, which is the 2020 election, they've been able to move from 5.1% of the vote cast to 29.8%. And as you can see, the gap is really closing in Hohoe. I don't know the magic they are doing there, but it's, Akachi North, Akachi South, Hohoe are all interesting places or constituencies that we are really looking at in the upcoming election. And so, I mean, if you're looking at the Volta region, it's still the vote bank of the NDC.
Right.
They hold that constituency. But the story the data
behind
is trying to
figure
exactly is that it's not the same as let's say as it used to be 1996. Absolutely. And this for me is interesting going into this year's election.
All right.
Carlos.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll provide this most screen. Window dressing the campaign, and crosswalk. Acquires a woman here. What people the man not and somebody wanted to meet people, so I know Anya Babawa.
Esi pa. Chine anymore. Oyi dia share anymore to hono na hwe anymore.
Aye, and a folk now almost quarter here, and operation or moto, and you move shake each other. That is the idea. I will go who be war and my baby. And then energy, it already idea by the Robert MPP message, not I think it. But I never went to mention that here. The Sitono, the Pia, Manford, Minia, Meme Crano, Ashanti, Manford, poor Araba, Santi for poor full share. Because we would say Santi for near so. He's a guy. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, or many are so not done for Namika Yawa, that was some had who be over commission near Manu Baby. Miss Owen, you be a madame for no was you could see Boafo. If you can be in one banya, what the projects Yaba, what commission in the Brebesa, Udenia, Ufoso, Newswire, Nanado Afaha, that project enough, would consider the beer project. I said, my best said, Wahayana.
Naso catch them was says he can't pay the day. More the think room, how was he can't pay the day?
You can't pay the day. You can't pay the day. And why you come one day. She say, well, Sanya Baby, people for the Papana Yene dear. Dr. Mahmoud, almost soon named him, say, and this you need track record that just said, Putimi, I do a big so. It is an honor, Papa be a friend, or the Papa. Now, former President John Dramani Mahama 25 economy, no, I was going to be to you. I could say, and I'm so they was it, and you're compulsory. Now, if you are open, and was say, now where we see the billboard, no one who grew to Kudija as Susan. And I'm saying, it was a damn complicated deal. Ashanti Mahmoud, basically, principally in Ashanti region, meaning this election, MEP and NDC, vote gap difference, between 1.2 to 1.3 million. I will never be surprised. It could even be more. Say the missing who no. Now, I'm so anti-me and fry. Yes, I feel now. Hope to be a more than I'm happy about the campaign. It's just a real no Babylon, so that's why you're not about. One in the could be a moon, Kurano, a Twakano, now I could deny out. Wow, would deny out. Come for what Yana buying, what's it not come for? Now, what you say? Was he a free book could be a friend in Japan, dear book could be will be, and I would yet now no crying on the level of credibility. Cry, yes, I said, was your Alan spokesperson. Mindia, a year man and Quarania Corinsa for edges or Kupa one and Nanamuasio. A year man. A year, come here, Corinzani, ye, Uncle ye, and Abeluna, a Corinsa for Nazi with good not face, yes, as Rukuya, question is there. Hope saying, so I do go at MPP, when to me and win MP, no, what do you mean is it, no?
Dabi.
Abba, and I hope I was a groom. Every person to the Amalan Martin. Me say, who was Alan Martin? The papa fear no and fear no woman. If you may tell who is Yano. Oma Titimuno. One part 20 petting and tell me, you are all one number. Maybe could see what for that man. So be one. When are they coming in your election?
Shaping the nation.
One year grants work here, NDC Wuno. Negara no Akano, on pair, Akaka Krabi on Botomwa. One in the Irem pair and since I have been told to rule. Now, baby, your name not there. Seriously, it is a quixotic.
And to Doro, I can cry. What may you on crying? That woman in my dear friend in Doro.
And to who here, and now can quite be our yeah, I said now and more. Who know not Emma kill no more there, and since I was say, and then can soon and he and then and since I will be a white one to one, I think the school boys in near Bino and the movie town, one point. No, we're you know, I know if you are going to be a boom, no, a copper, Mompanipi. That's right. I know. I need to grow, so basically, no. Now, yeah, it may be a popo consulo, and yet do my quabi, your friend, no, to grow. I know, when I boom, I need Kawawa, I say. Would you go on and go any for society and go any speedy pa? What I said, nominee. It's the I want to Waba. I don't know the I need in terminal good dear, well, no better. So, thank you. The Alan. I think I know I can't do none from this and it can.
Oh, my, she say you ma.
Once a year, Kakrana can warm to one real Quam Wati, or city city no. I be a Tana one for Kakrana can fetch. Now one day I was them woman to me and woman to me and yet I will go poor people for no name of your vote. Not to Catalanso, where General MP people went to me and when they create that they yet too free the constituency. It would too need free or no. And yeah. One will be near you. One man say what to promise you know, now when did you do you were saying? Lightweight. Nature says, any palm no said they won't bet me a credibility. The game says, hold see by your and then hold see by a hin will be good. Possibly pro NDC FM stations here or Babenena. Oba one or Casa Tirano. Any pay bit of ASA. Why it's here. Many Americans said net. Ubia fan one near Vietnam. The decision to vote has already been taken. Now, I'm saying if Alan. Say me could see what no, Minia, Cheddar, able to me a Alan.
Or I could see what 40 and can. Yeah, not lie no a breaky crack. Eddie and come on, no banner. Eddie and Mau cancer cheddar bet to me as a Alan Chermatin.
Cheddar. Alan Susu meet dear or more yellow or poor. Would you know as you be moved? We call ye Alan for no young son. And a natural that no so ye and I. And he said the child one by one person. Meet no more friend.
When we are Nana, when we are me, son.
Aye.
About with you,
the hopes you can know. And I've been so dear. Form the ball, and friend go up.
Of Alan, so me who talk, Mas, what a boy, I be Muna, Nifa Bunumi and Sabi Carona, or Nam Kumasi Krunwa, or ye can pay Kakra, and the yellow no. Then also ye, a Kakra, a ye, Oguso.
At certain point in time, no, Alan, no, I am a ya. In fact, to be away free MPP, Muhammad, I am a yapa, ne Alan Quadrutremaki. The reason being that it is a more would yapa, no, honestly, someone, maybe could see Buafo, may catch them on Nama Mate, says M1, M1, maybe could see Buafo crime and Nam. In the worst scenario, I could have been a vice president of Ghana. And yes, I'm one to be. Kufo, a leverage crime man. And my wobble, it is a caneno, and number and Cassie Wumpa, woman, a and Cassini in a body share with noon. Na minnu ya no se we waji mun ka se mako na wo wie na wo tu se en ka se hi na me minti me na wo compreni enam no ka se wo ye ko fo obi nim ko wa ko ya ambassador ba be cabinet minister pa won wa che en fie dunum na do dan kwa dia so ye cabinet minister kra en fie na no so sa enti adenti na wo sebi titie no waba yakoto waba. Alan had opportunity to become a running mate, and that would have been better. And you're there, Nebasa. And your foot to a wentian, and now you're no another. To me, said your Dr. Mahmoud Baumia running mate ya BBS ya on the Juma year. Irrespective of your age, Joe Biden